In today's episode, Courtney and I have the pleasure of sitting down and talking with Colleen Nichols, best-selling author of Don't Make It Weird and owner of Digital Sales Growth Community. At the end of the day, she is the social media selling expert, and that's exactly what we cover in this episode. Some struggles that keep you from selling on social media, even posting on social media. We talk about tangible ideas and concepts that you can take right now and implement today to start posting, to start growing your community, to start attracting the ideal customer to you so you can sell on social as well. With that being said, let's start the show. Are you an insurance agent struggling to meet your sales goals? Do you feel overwhelmed and disorganized, making it hard to keep track of your leads and close deals? If so, our sales training program is the solution you've been looking for. Our program is designed specifically for insurance agents who need help improving their sales skills and increasing their productivity. We understand that the insurance industry, it can be highly competitive, fast-paced, which is why we've created a program that will help you stay ahead of the curve and close more deals. We understand that your time is valuable, which is why we've created a program that is flexible and convenient. You can access the sales training lessons and coaching sessions from anywhere at any time so you can fit your training around your busy schedule. Don't let the lack of sales training hold you back from achieving your full potential as an insurance agent. Sign up for our sales training program today and start closing more deals, generating more revenue, and achieving your sales goals with more confidence. There's so much more to the program. So if you're interested in joining the program that's helped over 10,000 insurance agents nationwide, visit our website, www.weaversa.com, or send me a text directly at 816-727-7610 with any questions to find out more. Hey, welcome to the Insurance Buzz. We are your host, Michael and Courtney Weaver, and we have a very special guest today, Colleen Nichols. Colleen, how are you?
I'm so great. How are you guys?
I wore my rhinestone cowgirl shirt just for you. I am so excited.
Well, shit,
you look so beautiful. And look at me in black nothingness. Oh my God, you look like a beautiful unicorn.
Oh, thank you. We're going to talk about social media today. We're going to talk about making money and building your brand online and not making it weird.
Yes, finally, please, for the love of all things.
So Colleen just launched her best-selling book, Don't Make It Weird, that talks all about showing up online, creating content that converts. So let's
make a note of that right now. Pick that up.
Don't make it weird. Get the Audible version. I'm listening to it right now, and I am laughing my ass off. It is so good. It is so good to hear you share your stories in such a vulnerable way, because showing up on social media sometimes feels like you're walking into a room naked. Like, here I am.
Oh, yes. Yes.
This is what we got.
It's scary for a lot of people.
Yeah.
It's scary. I think if we can normalize that first, and I'm not certainly going to be like, this is not scary. This is so easy. It is scary. It does take work. You do I think if we can get that out of the gate at the beginning, people are like, oh, okay, I'm not a loser, or I'm not bad because it's scary to me. It's scary. Get over it.
Yeah.
Proceed.
Putting yourself out there in the public eye. That is scary.
Well, and you show up and you say words that don't make sense. I make up words all the time, and then I think, oh God, should I post that? Should I not post that? Oh, I said the F word 17 times in a 30-second story. Should I maybe pull her back just a second?
If you don't, you'll get emails from Karens and Gales that say please consider. I'm like, no.
And I just want to ask you real fast, Colleen, were you scared as shit to put your book out?
Oh my gosh, Michael. I was so scared. I can't even tell you how many sessions with my therapist were just around this. She was probably like, oh my gosh, Jesus Christ, are we talking about this again? I'm like, yes, Christine, we are. This is hard for me. It was like ugly crying, scary. And because you just don't, I think anytime I've done anything where it's completely unknown to me, it's yes, it's exciting, woohoo, but I'm mostly scared because as an Enneagram 3, I don't like I know. I don't like publicly failing. It's like a
Yep.
fate worse than death, and
Yeah.
I'm like, "If this isn't gonna be great, I could die."
Hmm.
Yep.
So, it's scary to put stuff out there for the first time and not know. So, yes, it was very scary.
Dude, the book process, like I'll never forget. Before I put Game Changer out a few years ago, it was getting ready to go out, and I'm like, babe, I'm about to just stop this whole process. Like, what
Yes.
are people gonna say? And then the worst thing that happens is somebody uses it for a fire starter kit. That's a review I got. They're like, well, this book sucks, but at least I can use it for a fire starter. I'm like, that's the worst case scenario. That's not bad. At least you're using it for something. Let's go.
I don't know about you, it felt so scary because as, like, somebody on social media, like, I was like, "There's always a delete button. There's always a delete button, or an edit button that I could
Hmm.
just, like." But with a book, you're like, "Holy shit, that's
It's
I
out there.
It's
can't
out.
delete that, and now people have it, and there's proof of it, and it's just very scary."
And it's so good. All right, let's get
It,
into
it is. It is so good. So in your book, you're talking a lot about social media. But if I'm listening to this and I'm scared, and we've already pulled
Yeah.
back the curtain of we're all scared, we all have that feeling. What can social media do for your business? Why would anyone even show up on social media to sell?
Why wouldn't you show up on social media to sell? I mean, truly, like, social media is, I think, the most critical tool for an entrepreneur in today's age because A, it, like, disintegrates any sort of, like, geographical boundaries, right? Like, you can reach anyone anywhere. It's you don't have to go knock on somebody's door anymore or have these presentations. Like, you could put something out there that could potentially reach thousands and thousands of people. Why wouldn't you do that? And it also it's you get to create relationships through, content. And when I say content, I also just mean stories or things like that. Like, you get to create relationships and build this brand that you're in total control of. So you can be the, insurance person, the salesperson, the whoever person, but social media allows you to create, I mean, like, I don't want to say like the best parts of yourself because that's not what I want, but like, you get to introduce yourself in a way that, like, being in a traditional,
Mm.
like, boardroom setting wouldn't let you do. Like, you can be a professional and a friend at the same time.
Ooh, the and of you're going to a networking event, which makes my palms sweat even
Oh,
thinking about.
gross, yeah.
Oh, it's like, and then they go, "What do you do for a living?" And you're like, "Where do I start?"
My best, Jan. I did my best.
Because there's so much to it. That elevator pitch of feeling this pressure of I have to nail who I am in less than 30 seconds. And social media gives you this platform to say, this is all of me.
Yep.
Take it or leave it.
Yes. Yeah, which I think is so valuable these days because people have such like a fantastic BS meter that,
Mm.
like, they can get to know you in a way that, like, people are very intentional with, like, where they're gonna be spending their money. If they feel like they don't like you, Courtney, if they don't like you, Michael, or me, then they're not gonna spend their money with you. So, like, you have to be a whole ass human on the internet.
Yep.
Mm.
Which is perfect too, because I know that that's a big point in our branding. Like, we want it to be a hell yes, or maybe we don't align with you. And that's okay too.
Yes.
Like, figure out the person that you do align with, that you do want to work with. Like, I just had a conversation the other day with a client, and he was asking me about an individual. And I don't talk bad about anybody, but I'm like, dude, I just don't align with that individual. And I don't care how much they could help my business. Cause he was like, have you ever thought of a partner, like a collab? And I'm like,
Mhm.
man, like, it's cool that he might be able to help us, but I don't align. I don't jive. And that's cool. Like, just because you
That's
don't
great.
jive or I don't jive with somebody. So I love social media for that fact.
Yeah. And I think about it kinda like a cocktail party, like, you could go into a party and there's, like, so many people, like, there's tons of different people there, and you end up talking to a group of people the whole night. That doesn't mean you hate everyone else in the room, you've just found your people to talk to, and that's what's cool about it. I think that's a great example.
So you brought up people have to like you, which is such a point in our industry because we have our big carriers, our Allstates, our Farmers, our State Farms, even like the smaller ones that are really making a name for themselves, Geico, Progressive, all these things.
Yeah.
And as an insurance professional, you said, okay, you have to like you. And I think that is such a great point because regardless of what your position is, whether you're an agent or if you're just a sales producer, you have to build your personal brand.
Yes. Yes. Like the insurance is the niche, but the brand is the personality behind that. Why are they going to choose you over the hundreds or thousands of other people that they could choose from? It's the brand is the personality. And I think when you put it that way, if you're like, "Oh, I get it." When you say niche, brand, people are like, "Blah, blah, blah, jargon, jargon." Even if you say the niche is the focus, insurance, and the brand is your personality and why they would choose you. That's it.
So what have you found? Because you're the expert when it comes to selling online, digital presence, personal branding. What have you found holds people back, like the struggles of posting on social media, even putting themselves out there, getting started? Because we've had this conversation a lot with people. They're like, hey, and we tell them exactly. I'm a very tangible, like this is exactly the process you follow, and it never gets done. So I'd love to know what you find struggles wise and how to overcome those struggles.
Yeah, so I think a lot of it comes down like it boils down to overthink and the overthinking of what are people going to think about me? What and whether that's virtual people or what if it's a weird time to be an entrepreneur because on the internet it's like bring your mom to work day. Like cuz your aunt Susie can see what you do for work. It's like your that kid from high school is at the board meeting with you and it's like it's a very weird place to be. But I think overthink and just like the idea of what if people don't like me because we so desperately want to be liked. But kind of Michael, to your point about that person that you were talking about, I always tell people like you want to be magnetic, right? On the internet. But magnets don't attract everything. That's the point. Like you're not supposed to attract everything. So if we can let go of this overthink of somebody might not like me or somebody might not agree or I might ruffle feathers when I say this. Of course, we're not ruffling feathers in a way to be mean or unethical or anything like that. But that's the point. We want to be purposefully polarizing, and that scares the shit out of some people.
So you talk in your book about attraction marketing, and I think we've talked about kind of like what will people think. But if somebody is listening and they're like, okay, I feel pretty comfortable putting myself out there and I want to start pulling in some dollar bills, y'all. Where am I going? How do I create a plan to start showing up that attracts the people that I want, being this magnet for money?
Mm-hmm. So I think when people are trying to sell online, they want it to be fast, overnight, get rich quick situation. And it takes like the attraction marketing piece takes time. You have to earn that from people. So doing that, it's really the part of you being that human. It's talking about the brand side of you. What are you watching on Netflix? What are you guys doing over the weekend? Like who are you rooting for in the Super Bowl? Whatever. You have to get conversation going about other things outside of whatever it is that you sell. So that when you do say, I'm the agent or I'm the salesperson, they're going to pay attention because they already like you because maybe we're rooting for the same people. Maybe we like the same shows on Netflix. Maybe we both have anxiety about whatever. You're a whole person that you've taken the time to create or to introduce to people. So making the sales is honestly a natural byproduct of being that human. So when you bring up the sale, oh yeah, I do this, or oh yeah, I'm the insurance person or whatever, which you should do. I want you talking about your business in some way every day. But that's just a small fraction of the whole piece. A lot of people aren't creating their brand. They're not introducing themselves as a whole person. They're just talking about insurance or whatever.
So I jumped a little bit. Explain attraction marketing because I just went right into it because I'm in the
Yeah.
book and I'm
So
like, yeah.
yeah, no, attraction marketing is basically the idea that whatever you're talking, instead of saying, this is why you need this, you're showing people that you need it because of the way that, like, I'm a person that you like because we like the same things. We watch the same things. We have the same sense of humor. You're attracted to me for a lot of different reasons. And then I can show you what I'm using and that sucks you in, right? So, and the piece of attraction marketing that I think a lot of people miss is that they feel like, okay, I'm going to be this person. I'm gonna do a poll about who we're who we're rooting for the Super Bowl. Whatever. I'm not a sports person, but
Chiefs, Kansas City
yes,
Chiefs.
obviously Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift. And Okay, so oh shit, where was I going with that? God damn it. What were we talking about? Do you ever have that happen?
All
All
Where
the
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 time.
time. All the
words are
time.
literally coming out of your mouth?
Mhm.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I
Okay, we're
Michael
talking.
Scott my way through life.
I distracted you by cheering on the
Yeah, you
Chiefs.
did.
Let's
You're not, Michael. We're talking about, like, I don't even know, the attraction marketing. Courtney, what did you say?
About a poll, like who we're rooting
Well,
for the Chiefs.
yeah, who we're rooting for. I don't know where I was going with that. We'll have to come back to it.
We'll circle the wagons. It's all good.
If anyone is listening to this, I'm so like, and this has not happened to you, you're a unicorn. I I envy you.
Amen.
I love this part of our podcast because like our whole intention is really to pull back the curtain on what
Yeah.
success actually looks like. Because
Yeah.
there's so much, especially in our industry, of this posturing and ego of like, I got my shit figured out. Nobody has their shit figured out. We're all just doing the best we can.
Yeah.
Like trying to provide value. All right, I'm going to go down a different path though. If somebody is listening and
Yeah.
you brought up talking about your product every single day, is there a
Mm.
formula that you have found is a good balance between I'm rooting for the Chiefs and you need life insurance in your financial plan?
That's what it was. So if you're only talking about the insurance piece, you become a commercial, an infomercial, right? I want you to become this recommendation resource. I want you telling me, this is where I got this top. This is where I got my phone case. This is where I bought my Stanley. This is where I bought these earrings, or whatever it is that you actually spend your money on. This is what I watched, your energy. What are all the things so that they'll watch the show? They'll buy the top. They'll buy the earrings and they love them. So that when you say, this is the insurance plan that you need, it's a no-brainer for them because they already trust all of the recommendations that you make. The other part of that is that it teaches people how to sell because I don't know what it is, but if you love this pen, you could sell it no problem. And you could tell people, I love it. It has 10 different colors. It's on Amazon. It comes in a pack of 4. I love it. Whatever. That's literally selling. But you're not making a commission off of that. So it's not weird. But if you're talking about something that you actually believe in and you like, but you could make some money if you sell it, people get weird about it. So I think continually, like consistently selling all different types of things, recommending to your
Mm.
audience makes you feel more comfortable as a salesperson. And it makes kind of blurs the line as well of like,
Mm,
wait, does she make money off of that? It doesn't matter because they trust you
mm.
because you've earned that.
Recommendation resource.
I
I
love
love that.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
That's good stuff.
Hey, thanks.
So, all right, I'm going to get a little vulnerable right now because social media is an area where I've struggled probably over the last year to 2 years just because before I felt like I was super consistent with it. I'd post in my stories, I'd post like whatever, one time a day at a minimum, building a great brand. And then like I kept getting on social media and I felt like it was a time suck and I felt like it would give me anxiety. It would my comparison all of a sudden, like I'd see other coaches in the industry. So, oh shit, they look like they're doing amazing. Like, and so I've tried to limit myself to only an hour a day. And
Mhm.
now I'm like, which an hour is still a lot, but I feel like I can't be on as much or okay, the posts I'm making need to be much more intentional. I'm not posting as many stories, but I still want to be consistent with it and show people, but at the same time, I don't want it to be a time suck where I'm just getting on and scrolling all the damn time. So somebody that may be struggling like myself right now, Colleen, because I'm a believer in social media. I think you do need an amazing brand. I
Yeah.
think it's a great way to create that human connection piece. What advice would you give for somebody in my situation?
Oh, that's such a good question. So first of all, I want to say like I'm glad that you have found yourself pulling back. You have a time limit for yourself. A lot of people don't know my before all of this like Instagram book stuff. My real real job. I'm a mental health counselor by education and trade. And I'm always when people talk about this makes me stressed or this makes me anxious. I'm so glad you started to like do what you needed to do to not lose your mind. But I also think what we need to do, and the recommendations that I would give, I would really limit the amount of peers that I follow. So, like, you're seeing other coaches, that's not great for you because you're not creating content for any of those people. So, why are you following them? Right? Like, they're not it. I would be like, if I knew the avatar of person, I would maybe go to that coaches' content, and I would go to their comments and I would find out who's in there asking questions, and I would follow them because those are the people that I want to connect with. Those are the people that I want to like me and get to know me. It's not this other coach. And I find that when I'm watching peers and their content, then I start thinking, oh, that's how I have to be talking. That's the content I need to be creating. That's what we're doing now. And it totally stifles any sort of creativity. And the creativity is what's going to make people like you. And then the other thing is really just to treat it like an office. When I open Instagram during the day, like I know that I'm on there to either post a piece of content or engage with people who are, commenting on a piece of content or in my DMs. I don't scroll. It's like I'm going in to check my emails. I know what I'm doing. And I think treating it like an office space and not like a party. It's not social hour every time I open the app. That helps a lot as well.
Love it. I'm going to go ahead and brag on myself. I did do your very first tip and kind of the second one. I'm still working on the second one, but the very first tip, I was like, just let's hide those. I don't need to
Hide
see
them.
those, because I also felt what you just said, like it was creating a voice that may not be mine, because I felt like I need to be putting content out there like it. And so, hell yeah, let's go.
Then you start to sound like everyone else.
Yep.
And social media is noisy anyways.
It's so noisy. And Michael, I was just recently kind of in this slump. I had lost a chunk of followers when I, had started out just talking to network marketers. And then I really pivoted to talking to a digital entrepreneur, and I lost a chunk of followers, which is to be expected. But then I got in my head about it. Like, oh God, like maybe this was a bad choice. And so I was watching like other coaches, peers, whatever. And I was like, okay, this is the content that I need to be creating to gain followers. And I started doing it that way. And I was like, there's no traction. I'm still losing followers. And then I finally muted all of them and, started doing a series that is very much my actual personality. And lo and behold, the followers are just, flowing in. I'm like, oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
That brings up a good point, though, because you talked about who is your content for, your ideal customer. And in your book, you share the selfie where you're looking like a unicorn and you're just like, felt cute, might delete later.
Yeah.
What kind of content should we be sharing that is valuable, but also gets our point across of who our personality is?
Yeah. I think when you're putting out content, I want it to be either savable, shareable, taggable, or relatable. And so, you're giving a tip. Maybe you're talking about a resource. Maybe you're saying if you feel this way too, send it to a friend, whatever. So you're getting the algorithm to like you and do whatever it does. But I think the key piece is also relatable. Like maybe Michael's example of, I got in my head about this. Maybe there's things about whatever. What's an example of like something an insurance agent might say, but I struggled with this. And now this. So there's a relatable piece, and also here's the solution. So we're not going to use it like our diary. We're not going to like cry every day, but we're also not just going to be, the professor up there every day either. It's a give and take. We're having a conversation.
That's something I always struggled with too. I wanted to teach. I wanted to give value,
Yeah.
tips all the time. But
it's natural.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to also be a human who, like, even if you're like, you're this like professor, not really, but like you're this, guru insurance guy, but you're learning how to like play tennis. Like maybe you show people that you're learning to play tennis and you suck at it or whatever. Like it's just that balance of like, I'm really great here, but I'm learning over here. I don't know.
Oh yeah, when I was like getting my ass kicked by a bunch of geriatrics on the pickleball court. That was great.
Exactly. Exactly. That's the content that people are like, yes.
Give the people what they want.
Give them what they want. I'm telling you. I'm sure you could tie it in to a lesson about something like, these old guys know what they're doing.
They definitely do. So where do we start? What platform? Because there's 17 million. And I'm over here like trying to keep up with the Gen Zs on TikTok. And I'm like, okay, we're partner here down the middle. I'm not doing that.
Not doing that. No.
Where do we start?
No. I think you start wherever you feel the most energized, because you have to be consistent. So I'm not on TikTok. I think about it like this. Instagram is my office. Instagram is work now. It's fun, but also work. TikTok is like happy hour at the bar. Like that's just where I go with my friends and hang out and consume too many vodka sodas. But like that's where I hang out. I'm not creating over on TikTok. I really wanted to. I really thought, oh, this is what I need to do next. But it's a time suck. I don't understand it. It makes me feel insecure. I didn't like it. So I don't. So my like start where you're most energized and where you can master the hell out of it. And if you're on Facebook, I want you to be the best insurance agent on Facebook. And you're going to have people liking your page and doing all this stuff. If you're on Instagram, you're going to be the best at Instagram. You don't have to be all over LinkedIn, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. That's just, unless, of course, you're a master of all of them, which I doubt, but whatever floats your boat. Pick one and be really, really good at it.
So when you say consistent, I want to get a little bit more like to the details. Is that one post? Is that 3 stories? Is that 15 posted? Like what does consistent look like?
Yeah, I think consistency looks a little bit different for every single person. Consistency is really when it comes down to it, it's what cadence can you keep up consistently over time. But I do want you in your stories every day. People are like, ugh, I hate you. I hate this. I'm not saying be in your stories all day, every day. I'm asking you to take 30 or 60 seconds out of your day to like tell me, an opinion about something, ask a question, tell me, oh, I'm looking for a new pen. Where am I getting it? Whatever to get people talking to you. I think on your feed, it's less. I think consistent can look like 3 to 4 posts a week. I don't think you need to be posting on your feed every single day, but you should be connecting in your stories every day. Because when you think about it like this, like you could have a reel that you posted last week and today it could pop off and
Mm.
people could start seeing it. And if they come to your profile and you're not in your stories, they don't really know who you are and they're probably not going to give you a follow. So I want you in your stories so at any time somebody comes across me, they can get to know me outside of like a more performative real situation.
So you just said something interesting though, because I'm definitely not very good at that portion of it. Because stories I always thought was just showing like the things that you did on a daily basis. But what I just heard you say is it needs to be some type of engagement. So whether you're asking a question, you're looking for a suggestion, poll, I guess. Like, is that more of
Yeah.
what you need to maximize the stories for?
Yes. Yeah. So also like we want to be this recommendation resource. We also want our audience to be recommending things to us because then it makes selling not weird. It's a mutual back and forth. If I say, okay, I'm a millennial and I really don't want to wear baggy jeans that make me look like I'm wearing a diaper, where are we buying our denim? And then everyone's like, "Brr." These recommendation readers come out of the freaking woodwork and they're like, here's a link, here's a link, here's a link. And they're selling you these jeans just because they're recommending them because that's what we do. And then when you say, "Oh, here's the like insurance plan you need," or whatever, we've done this back and forth. It's what we do. It's normalizing what I do. But also when people are sending you the recommendations for the best pickleball, whatever, that's telling the algorithm gods that I don't understand, oh, people like Michael. Because when Michael posts something, they stay on the app longer because they're talking to him. So when these people get back on the app, Michael's stories are going to be the first that I show them because he keeps them on the app. So we're just asking questions. We're engaging. We're, making silly, not like, but, just what are your thoughts about things that people could engage with? Because that will get your stuff seen.
When do we promote? Like, when do we start selling? Do we sell in the feed? Do we sell in stories? How does that look?
I make 99% of my sales in stories. So I think about the feed as introducing myself to
Mm.
people. Like that's kind of my first impression, or I'd like to say that I edutain people. Like I'm gonna educate you, I'm gonna entertain you. That's where I'm gonna do that. And then in my stories, that's where we're all like I'm saying, we're given the behind the scenes, we're asking questions, all that kind of stuff. But that's where I can say, this is what I do, and you're a dum dum if you don't buy it. Because they're like, yes, I don't want to be a dum dum. We're friends. So I sell in my stories all the time. But there's a balance because people want to be there because I'm talking about a lot of other things. But then when I say, oh, by the way, this is where you need to be learning about how to be a human on the internet, it's right there. Here's the link. Buy it. Like, yes.
Is there anything that you shouldn't be talking about on the internet?
So, depends on how much you don't want people to like you. That's really a personal preference. You
Depends
know,
on the line you're drawing in the sand,
yeah,
baby. Like, where are we
it's
standing
0.
here?
Own personal line. I say like a lot of people when you're just starting out and like they're like, I don't want to say anything that offends anyone, and I'm like, literally anything can offend. And so
You're
they're
gonna
like,
get canceled. Just watch
you
out.
said you like dogs. What about cats? You're so offensive. And I'm like, oh my God. But I think, and I'm doing it like a series on Instagram right now where I'm showcasing like the weird ass stuff that people sell and do on the internet. So to your question, I don't think anything is off limits because everything is out there. As long as you can confidently stand with it, you're golden. I mean, it really comes down to your posturing. Can I say one of the things?
Yeah,
Is
you
this
can absolutely. I know where you're going. Go ahead.
Say whatever. On the insurance buzz, we are 100% honest here. Let's
She's gonna
go.
go for it. She's gonna go for it. I love
the
it.
jizz jewelry?
Go for it.
The what?
Yeah, Michael. The
What
jizz
is it?
jewelry. Jizz
Ooh,
jewelry.
jizz jewelry?
Yep, it is exactly what you think. Uh-huh. So people send in their sample and she dehydrates it and puts it into the clay in which she makes you jewelry.
What?
And so if she can record herself doing that, certainly you can talk about the insurance policies that you sell. Get out of here. I mean, nothing's off limits. I mean, the stuff out there, pony play, there's just so much stuff. There's so much stuff.
Gosh,
My
dang.
eyes and my brain are like, the holes are burnt into them because of
I
stuff.
love the buzz. Sometimes we're talking about bourbon. Sometimes we're talking about insurance. Now we're talking about jizz, baby. Let's go.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I really that question itself so perfectly.
No, set it up. It was a softball. You had to hit it. I love it.
That was a layup.
No, it was. So you're doing this series, and if you don't follow Colleen, it's No Shame Sales Game. You have to follow her on Instagram. It is so entertaining. But you started this, and all I could think was, I need to know how she, like, what is happening for research purposes, because if it's making it all the way here, I'm like, what is going on the internet?
So this is a great example of why building a community and like being a person is really helpful, because I do something on my like personal Instagram account and Question Box Sunday where I ask weird questions. So I've learned about some things over the past couple of years, but when I started posting this stuff on No Shame Sales Game, the people just send it to me. So really it's their search histories that are all freaky deaky. They send it, they're like, for your series, and I'm like, why do you know about butthole magnets, Jan? I appreciate it. Thank you. But it does, I've been told about all these things, and so then that's how I find them. I'm like, oh, pony plea? Let's look that up on TikTok. There it is.
I love it.
This is so good.
It's so good. And I want to remind you, if you're listening to this, Colleen is a best-selling author. She's created a ginormous, I'm not going to call it a club because I know that's what your mom calls it, digital community. She's a multimillionaire. Her and her husband have built their dream life with their core unit, their family. She's still herself. She's showing up as herself, and they're not mutually exclusive. Like, you showing up as yourself on the internet is the thing that makes you stand out. And it's actually how you're going to generate more sales and make more money. If not, you're just going to sound like everyone else, and there's nothing unique about you. And that's what we're looking for. I want to know who you are as a person. So, Colleen, I'm excited because you get to come into Weaver Sales Academy tomorrow.
I know.
I'm so pumped for that, because we're going to get down.
Maybe we'll bring up some of these examples again as well. Who knows?
Perfect.
I don't know. Michael's like, no, please don't.
More jewelry, baby.
I'll be more PG for you guys.
No, it's all good. They're used to us.
Yeah.
Okay, that's true. That's true.
It's all good.
Colleen, if somebody wanted to follow you, support you, work with you, buy your book, what's the best way to get in contact or follow you?
Yeah, so first we can hang out on Instagram, No Shame Sales Game. That can be our first date. Then you could buy my book, Don't Make It Weird, on Amazon. And if we want to get serious, maybe get married, we could work together in Digital Sales Growth Community, which is my community where digital entrepreneurs learn all different types of, core skills that you need to be able to build a sustainable business.
This has been so much fun. Thank you for coming
Thanks for
on.
having me.
We appreciate you so much.
I appreciate you.
This has been awesome. So
Yeah.
good. Just jewelry and
Yeah.
everything. Let's go. All right.
We're gonna look it up. We're gonna look it up. And
No, we're
we're gonna
not.
be smart.
No,
Yeah,
it'll ruin
Michael,
Dude,
DM me. Go look it up.
you know how technology is. I guarantee some
It will
stuff's
ruin the
already going to
algorithm.
show up on some
It's already
social
there.
media
It's
already
platform
there.
somewhere. Yeah.
It's on its way to you. Like,
Yes,
Colleen,
shall receive.
this was awesome for all of you all that are listening right now. Thank you so much for your time today. I would love to know your biggest takeaway from this episode, even if it's something to do with the jewelry. Shoot me a text, 816-727-7610. Other than that, time is the most valuable and important asset that we all have. We appreciate you spending time with us today. Thank you so much. Go out and make it great. Colleen, thanks again.
thank you.